Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob and today we are gonna be continuing and finishing off the narration and character voice acting for the Babel story. Alright, final part, and boy oh... When history becomes stories, stories become legends, and legends are nearly forgotten by the masses. She had faith in you. She believed in your aspirations and trusted that your ideals would stand the test of time. The purest ideals clash with one another, leading to the gravest of tragedies. Do not forget. Outside Rhode Island of Babel, Kasdal. Babel is defenseless as the regent said. Keep quiet, stay alert. Stick to the original route and find the king. A route and B route stand by. Their main force is not on the ship. They will need time to call for support. Babel's guards still haven't noticed us. His Highness was right. There is someone high up in the enemy's chain of command helping us. All units, enter the ship. We settle this quickly. Avoid anything unexpected. "10 minutes ago, Amia was roused by a strange sound. Babel is continually being maintained and renovated. It has already seen massive changes compared to when she first arrived at her new home. Maybe Closure is busy fixing things again. The doctor left Amia many picture books in her room, with illustrated stories she had never heard of before. Her favorite is one that tells of someone who falls from the sky, riding a fantastical vehicle, and the many adventures that come of it. But she is not fond of the ending. The hero repairs the vehicle and has to return to the sky, saying goodbye to the children on the ground. I really don't like all this noise. The doctor still isn't here. Theresa. I need to go find Theresa. Hello, Mr. Downing. You dropped your pliers on the ground. Here. Thank you, Amia. Where are you going? I'm going to the speaker's office to find Theresa. Oh, right. Have you seen the doctor? The doctor? It's been a few days. That one ought to be in the command center overseeing the operation, I think. I knew the doctor must be busy with something. Okay. Bye-bye. Don't run so fast, Amia. There's still a lot of places being overhauled on the ship, so make sure you don't trip. That girl really is. This one's handled. Proceed. Our men on the inside are already on standby at every ambush spot. We can begin our coordinated assault at any time. If you see anyone, don't hesitate. Those left on the ship are no threat. I brought my book, Theresa. Huh? Oh, why is the door shut? Theresa, it's me. Are you in there? Closure once taught me another way to open the door. It's open! Theresa! What are you doing here, Amia? I heard some loud noises that sounded really close. I got a little scared. We can go home soon. You look tired. Would you like to stay with me while I work? Is this a storybook? I see.
Well, as long as it's for you, I think I can take a short break. The doctor and Dr. kal'tsit won't mind. Thank you, Theresa. Alright, come sit over here. Once we've finished this story, I'll take you to my homeland to play. So, where did we leave off last time?
Stand back, Ducarel. You are covered in the blood of the mediocre. Merely some heirs making ridiculous comments on the situation. Nobody should be making light of that pair of siblings' lives or deaths at this moment. It is a grave disrespect. Should you not be retreating and defending the inner city right now, Nezalim? That has nothing to do with the war I am waiting for. Therese's asked you to come and ensure her death? Is this not you being contemptuous of those siblings yourself? The Regent would not stoop to such methods. I am only here to witness the end of this war and the beginning of another. If the King of Sarkas is struck down, I will bear the deathly pall of this moment. On behalf of the King, I will witness the victory I grasp from the abyss. So, you still feel sorrow? As do you? The breath of reed slowly sinks into the riverbed. The gloomy mists have not dispersed for days.
Avenel, are you still by her side? For whom does the elegy ring out? Why did you stop, Theresa? We just got to the important part of the story. I thought I'd leave a little suspense for you, Amia. Would you mind if I used another, more comfortable way to tell you this story? But, okay. Watch out, Amia. A bubble! Huh? This is...
Black ripples continuously wash over the pure white room, as though Amia has plunged into a pool filled with ink. The black bubbles cut off all sound, just as they obscure Amia's sight. Beyond the bubbles, Theresa's figure becomes more and more indistinct, retreating further into the distance.
Theresa? Stay inside for now, Amia. Sleep well. You will be safe by my side.
Theresa, Your Highness. We will use our lives as proof of the future that the General pursues.
No, I was sighing about something else. Honestly, there is no need to cover your face in front of me. I still remember you from back when you accepted Elish's orders before his chariot. Your heroism and valor in that battle moved me. I remember most of your fellows as well. You are all worthy of the title of brave warrior, in no way inferior to those heroes fighting in Castle this very moment.
We aren't covering our faces to hide our identities. We knew they would do nothing here. We have cut off our hordes, abandoned our names, even destroyed every inch of our skin that can be used to identify us. All so that after we use such wretched methods to kill the King of Sarkas, We will not be remembered by the Sarkas. We can't be remembered. Do it. The rushing air engulfs the assassin's blades like a swamp as they incessantly stab forwards. Swoosh. The trembling of the blades causes the air surrounding them to resonate. They press on. They continue to stab. The ones holding the blades are buffeted and submerged by waves they cannot resist.
I remember your names. I remember you, Luca. You held back a steam knight on your own. You hid yourself within the steam to pull them out and beheaded them before friend and foe.
The assassin's life fades away.
I remember you too, Lins. Out of the countless Sarkas with that name, you are the one who stood out most. After being taken captive by spire casters, you freed 3 of your compatriots from their camp and destroyed their art circle.
Another death, and yet it cannot stop them from approaching Theresa.
And then you, Levin. You took an arrow for Theresa's, losing an arm in the process, but survived hell itself until you managed to retreat. I do not wish for you all to die nameless and unknown. At the very least, I will remember.
More and more corpses pile up by her side, while the room she has left to stand is whittled away little by little. She sighs, wiping the blood from her neck, accidentally smearing the dark red across her white dress. We want to do something for the Sarkas before we die, and so now we stand before you. We have come to kill you, the king we once swore an oath of loyalty to. We know your strength better than anyone, so allow us damned traitors to escort you to hell.
Theresa, what happened? It's okay, Amia. I'm here. I'll take care of things. Warning. PRTS access detected. Searching internal array. Administrator permission found. Are you sure you want to disable all defense systems? Confirmed. Optimal route calculated. Data uploaded. Safety window countdown has begun. PRTS standing by. Is this your final decision, Doctor? My kin, I honor your resolve to die for your goal. Unidentified targets detected. Activating alarm. Alarm cancelled by administrator. Optimal route loaded to command system. Tactical configuration complete. Safety window countdown has begun. Immediate action required. Is this you, Theresa? I'm wrapped in some invisible bubble. I can't see or hear anything. Amia, I never thought it would end like this. I thought we would have more time. The King of Sarkas. I wish I did not have to pass this burden to you so suddenly. But the truth is too cruel for you now, Amia. Someday, you'll be able to decide if my decision was right or wrong. Goodbye, Amia. It will all be over when you wake up.
Mission accomplished.
The last thing Amia remembers is sleeping inside the black bubble. Theresa gently cradling the bubble wrapped around her, telling her a story that she has already heard many times before.
Within the desert of despair live many terrible shadows, forever chasing after the little puppet who is seeking for hope. The black-cloaked shadows were the echoes of the oldest despair and sadness. If they catch you, you'll never escape them. Within the desert, the little puppet met the king, who was covered in pure gold and precious gems. The king told the little puppet that if he went back the way he came, he would be given riches beyond measure. Despite the king pulling him back, the little puppet ignored the captivating gems and pressed onwards. But very soon, the black-cloaked shadows caught him. They kept throwing themselves at him over and over again, near endlessly. Bang, bang, bang. The puppet took out a long spear made of a needle and some threads, fighting the shadows until finally, after knocking aside the shadow's sharp talons, he managed to escape. He ran as fast as he could until he reached a large river of tears. There was neither boat nor weeds, so all the little puppet could do was swim across. But as he soaked in the tears, he began to sink until he touched the riverbed. He had failed.
Was this how the story ended? Amia could not believe. Maybe Theresa read it wrongly. She anxiously wished for Theresa to change the ending of the story.
Theresa! Yes? Can we save the little puppet? You wish to save him? I do. I really, really do.
All sound fades away. The bubble obstructing Amia's sight dissipates. Theresa's figure becomes clearer and clearer. Out of the corner of her eye, she sees dark red seep out of the black cloak shadows lying on the ground. Who are these people? When did they arrive? Why are they lying on the ground? Amia had so many questions she wanted to ask Theresa. She did her best to open her eyes wide. She sees a white dress stained crimson. She sees Theresa's bloodshot eyes. Was Theresa okay? Amia wants to ask Theresa about her injuries, but she could not make a sound.
It's okay, Amia. I am here. I beat those bad people from the stories.
What happened to Theresa? Amia wants to wipe the weariness off of Theresa's face, but she could not move her hands.
I'm sorry. I can't change the ending of the story. But you can, Amia. You will walk along a difficult path, just like the little puppet who tried to cross the river of tears. All I can do to help you is bestow this crown of black upon you. For 10,000 years, the limitations imposed by history led my people to misuse this crown. It has been stained, it has been bound, but it should not have been so. If we are to break this curse, to break fate itself, I need your help. Do you want to rewrite the ending?
Amia wants to say I do, but she cannot utter a word. She anxiously nods her head, thinking that perhaps she could help Theresa by saying yes. Perhaps she could save her.
Though there is not much strength left in me, it is enough for me to transfer its permission to you. I have sealed most of it away, so that its boundless information does not overwhelm your mind. Forgive me, Amia, for making you bear the weight of this crown. I thought that I could be there for you much, much longer, that I could watch you grow up, that I could stand with you when you bravely faced your parents' passing, that I could hear you answer my questions yourself. Your answer as to whether or not you wish to follow in my footsteps. Well, there's not enough time left for us, Amia. I now selfishly consign this weight that I bear onto you. I am so sorry, child.
Amia tries to scream, but she cannot open her mouth, cannot move her limbs. A black blade seems to penetrate her chest. She ought to feel pain, but this blade leaves behind only warmth, a warmth brimming with hope.
Amia, it is hope and also pain. You will be confused, you will hesitate. But please, trust Dr. Kal'tsit. Trust that she will always stand by your side. She will help you dredge back up the secrets of survival. You can bear it, can't you, Amia? You have always been a strong girl, one that never ceases to amaze me. I am so very tired. Thank you, Amia, for the joy you have given me ever since the day we met. Now rest for a while. Sleep. Sleep in peaceful slumber. I will always be with you.
Theresa hears a familiar voice. Amia! Theresa does not raise her head to look at the one who just arrived. The crown has left her and found another. Her breath grows feeble and feebler still.
Doctor, there was no need for you to come. I felt your emotions. I I saw your past. You could have waited elsewhere, waited for my death to come. You knew that this time I would not escape nor retreat. Are you here for Amia? Or perhaps...
Theresa does not need to hear the answer. Behind the one she asked, a tide of assassins pour out of the shadows, rushing toward Theresa.
So, this is your answer, Doctor.
Theresa is glad to see Amia asleep. Amia did not see the doctor's betrayal, nor Theresa's final bout of sorrow. The black crown finally lands neatly in Amia's hands as Theresa takes down the final assassin in the room.
It's all right, Amia. Everything's fine. It's over.
Theresa does not look at the one frozen in place before her. She gently pats the back of the child in her arms and leaves a kiss on her puerile cheek. Theresa, I can't throw away this opportunity I spent millions of lives and myriads of years to reach. I can't let you ruin the plan for Originium. I can't let you turn this great land into a beautiful but fleeting dream.
And that's why you put Amia in harm's way.
Seeing as the King of Sarkas has already seen my memories, I believe there is no need for any further explanation. Do you hate me?
You hurt Amia. You're about to hurt kal'tsit and the fighters who trust you so deeply. Is this how you treat those lives?
I'll do what I can to ensure their safety in the ensuing conflict. This is what Theresa swore to me as well. We only need you to die.
Doctor, did you present yourself before me out of guilt?
Guilt is, too light of a word compared to everything I've done. We made too many choices in a time that even kal'tsit isn't familiar with. I just...
When Amia grows up, if she remembers me, if she asks about me, will you tell her the truth of how I left her?
No. I'll help them search for another way to live.
You'll help them search for a final moment of peace before Originium destroys Terra.
I'm sorry, that's the one thing that's set in stone.
You know it's futile, and yet you still wish to cure Amia's sickness. Even if her family and homeland will all turn into the same hunks of Originium in the not-too-distant future, along with anyone and anything you'll ever know. You still don't want the girl before your eyes to suffer. That's what you sincerely feel. Your purest thoughts. Your innate nature. And actually, I'm glad, Doctor. I'm glad you're real and true. The one who kal'tsit willingly trusts, and in turn trusts us. You, the creator of Originium, Jacob, you are the poison that ruins everything, but also the antidote to it all.
What? Theresa strains to stand up, stretching her arms towards the doctor, instilling in the latter an instinctive urge to retreat. The doctor tries to move, but fails. Sorrow far surpasses the collapsing rationality at this moment. Theresa touches the face beneath the mask.
You're crying, Doctor. Well, that's the kind of person you are. You know your own fragility. You know how much of a threat I pose to you even at a time like this. And yet, you still came here. So I still am willing to believe in you. To trust in who you really are. To trust in our Jacob, who brings the rain, dew, and sun.
This face is both familiar and strange. Theresa knows its features well. She never had a chance to directly perceive the emotions on it until now. She smiles and stretches out her fingers, snipping the scene before her in two as if it were made of cloth. Then she slowly pulls out a loose thread from the rift, and the remnants unravel as the Doctor's memories dissipate. Theresa goes in deeper, without looking back, until every memory is taken apart into a mess of disconnected white threads. Like the very night, a long time ago, when she was still young, teaching herself to sew with Theresa's by her side. The memory disintegrates until a mere fragment of the soul remains. A silhouette stands at the end of that memory. Theresa thinks the figure both familiar and strange. It's the Doctor. It's not the Doctor. What are you doing to me, Theresa?
We're done here, but I suddenly feel like leaving you a surprise. So don't blame me for this, Doctor. I'll say to you this one thing. Find yourself.
気づく前にあなたの死体を影に沈めてあげる。視界は良好ね。頑張ります。
見えた。
下がって。
俺はもうとっくに大人だ。
ここでは何も起きていない。誰を餌にするか決まった。絶望の匂いをカムフラージュできない。こっそりどこかに行っちゃうかもね。私絶望の匂いをカムフラージュできない。
余人がその目を曇らせる。
俺の大切なものは一つだって奪わせない。
何を片付ければいい？誰もサプライズ好きだから好きに選んでね。チェンさんの剣術がこの剣をなくし
知っていった連中は俺が覚えておく。
何を片付ければ何になって貴様の不義理に報いようか。聞いて。絶望の匂いをカムフラージュできない。これで静かになってくれる。一気に片付けましょうか。Mission accomplished.
Theresa holds the hands of the one before her, as if it were their first meeting. She quietly faces the other pair of eyes, looking at the emotions shifting within, until finally, only a void remains. She knows then every memory has been wiped clean, the soul purified.
Your memory is gone, and your soul reborn. A truly terrible trick. But they underestimate your benevolence, your desire for victory. They underestimate us, and what makes Terra so tenacious. Doctor, allow me to call you by this name for the last time. This is my little revenge on you. And also, my final gift to you. Memory does not shape who you are, so with your original self, live again on this land. See the world, feel the various emotions life brings, meet the many people of Terra. Perhaps your journey will start in suffering, and you may never manage to escape the murky moon shadows of this land. But you will always get to see the sunrise. I trust you will find a new solution, one that is truly your own. An answer that sounds just like the murmur kal'tsit and I once heard. A most moving answer.
Life slips away. Her ears gradually pick up an elegy from afar. The Kermelin did establish a connection with her after all. Theresa feels her own breath growing feebler, but she also feels unprecedentedly relieved. She tries her best to keep Ami in her arms, protected. Amia's heartbeat calms her own.
I'm a little tired. It's exhausting, holding on to that crown. I should rest when I'm tired. Isn't that right, Amia? I once imagined that perhaps one day we'll be able to let everyone on this vast land fall into peaceful slumber. It may take a long time to come, but maybe you could see it for me. Amia, when you wake up, you'll have to keep going. I'm so tired. No, she's not there yet.
She clings to her final strand of remaining strength. She's waiting for someone she must see. Fortunately, the sound of her footsteps already draws near. And then finally, even though she no longer has the strength to keep her eyes open, she knows. She's here.
Kal'tsit. Kal'tsit. Theresa. Amia. Doctor. I knew full well this possibility always existed. Why? I should have stayed behind. It's my... Theresa. We should have... Theresa, confirmed dead. Monster, heed my command. Prepare for any follow-up attacks. The Doctor and Amia, nothing must happen to them. Protect them at all costs. Monster! Kal'tsit! Kal'tsit!
Amia opens her eyes, pink rhombuses faintly visible in her pupils. Theresa's eyes remain shut tight, but Kal'tsit knows. It's her.
Kal'tsit! I've been waiting for you. Theresa, It's all right, Kal'tsit. It's fine. Listen to me. I'm already dead. What you see now is my consciousness put into the crown. I'm borrowing the body of this girl to bid you farewell. Kal'tsit, tell me, did you raise Babel's banner high up in the sky over Kasdal? I sent it back to Kasdal and watched it ascend myself. Thank you. I came back too late. I knew there might be a possibility. Don't blame yourself for this, Kal'tsit. You had your own mission to fulfill. And I managed to hold this long for you, and that's enough. Are we running out of time to say our goodbyes? I'm sorry, Kal'tsit. I understand. Please don't blame yourself for this. We trusted the doctor, and I hope you can continue on our path into the future. Kal'tsit, there's no need for any further misgivings. I took a life, but I also saved it. So please, take it to where it should be, if it can wake again. Guide it, and it will in turn lead us to the end of our path. I have no doubt about that. I understand. However, we can no longer take the risk of venturing into the depths of Rhodes Island. I will entrust someone I know to send the doctor to Ursus. Chernobog will be safe. It is too dangerous to allow the doctor to stay on Rhodes Island. That's good, Kal'tsit. I'll leave the rest to Amia then. She will walk a difficult road. I will be with her and Babel as well. She's so young but so strong. Kal'tsit, giving the crown to Babel, to her. I did not do this on a selfish whim. To break the cycle and deal with what is to come, the king cannot only be a king of the Sarkas, nor can it only be a king of Terra. The role is no feather controller or unparalleled power. The role is a key. The king is Civil Light Eterna. But Kal'tsit, keep this a secret from Amia. She doesn't need to bear all of that now. She will understand once she embarks on that path. She needs to understand. Only by overcoming every obstacle can we find the doors that lead to this world. And you? I will be gone in the pursuit of my ideal. As for her, she will become the flame that burns all corruption to ashes. Kal'tsit, a new war is about to begin. Theresus, my kin, he will descend onto the cradle in Victoria that belongs to us, and Originium will cover that patch of land.
She is leaving us.
He will bring misfortune to the other races of this land.
Well, you will become the final struggle for her ideals. A last-ditch effort.
He will make everyone else on Terra see the Sarkas as enemies once more.
Deathmongers, do not attempt to abandon your efforts before her end is set. Prove to me that her path still holds the chance to win a future.
Prevent that day from turning true before everything becomes irreversible.
Prove to her the peace you strive for is still worth a response. Though I regret to say this, my compatriots, the call to repay this blood debt is already resonating throughout this great land.
Kazdal's hatred should not continue to spread.
Her death has been determined. You have lost a Sarka's king. I have lost my only kin. And I will not let these sacrifices be in vain. My people, whether you've come for peace or vengeance, I will hear your voices.
Revenge, war, survival, future.
You will see where the Sarkas' true path lies. The blood which you stain the steps of Victoria, will eventually return to where it belongs. We must make this place a new beginning for us.
I can still hear the Sarka's voices even now, kal'tsit. The closer I get to the myriad souls, the clearer their voices become. What I can glean from their shouts and cries is...
Suffering will descend once more. All of Terra will surrender. Starting from this very spot. The Sarkas will rise again.
will ruin the land. We have to stop him, kal'tsit. But that's not something Babel can do, as it is now. You'll find a way. Besides, you'll never be alone with the Babel we built together. Our companions will help you. Your Highness! Theresa! Your Highness! Your Highness! They will wield a fierce determination. Your Highness. I'm back, Your Highness. You would always welcome me back here when I returned. But this time, you're not here. Can you still hear me? Why couldn't you wait a little longer? Damn it! Damn it all! I'll make them pay. This I swear you. Every single one. Even if... Master Theresis. He must face me. I have to find them. All traitors will suffer. Your Highness Theresis, my only two. I couldn't.
Clouds cover the setting sun, and Ascalon is shrouded in shadow. She has lost her light, her faith, forever. She struggled, she strived. Only death remains for the one born in the storm.
They are the most remarkable of all.
Logos. Yes. I don't know. We should, let's retreat first. Let's, return to Babel.
They will never doubt our ideals, even for a second.
It's over. Why I feel... I too am baffled, King of the Nocturnes. I thought I was long accustomed to a King of Sarkas' demise.
Those, the ones left behind, you do not need to question their loyalty. No way. Who sent this fucking comm? Did a military commission intercept this? Are they screwing with us? I don't believe it. Shut the hell up, Scout! The land ship. Should be this way. Theresa, she couldn't have just died like that.
Winter of 898. The King of Sarkas dies. Elish dies and Khasdal falls into ruin. The explosion of the soul furnace sends dust flying all across Khasdal's territory for 3 whole days and nights. Finally, it falls to the ground like black snowflakes, burying the bones of the invaders, along with the ruin once known as Khasdal. Khasdal is no more.
But Khasdal has never been gone for good. That's what I heard from the King of Sarkas. He said Khasdal has met with ruin more than 3,000 times, but it will always eventually be rebuilt anew.
Perhaps that was just a ploy by Elish to deceive the people.
Is that Theresis? But even if it were only a tale he spun while wasting away in a palace, I could at the very least sense a strand of longing from his stories. A yearning for a stable life. What happens after victory? Now everyone will only begin wandering the land once more. Our people will praise us as heroes, but we can only return to ruins devoid of life. What can we even do now? Heroes. Once this war is over, that title will be meaningless.
Indeed.
Also, I seem to have picked up the myriad souls whispering in my ear from a while ago. Their voices are becoming even more distinct. I don't know where the myriad souls hope to lead me. What about you?
I heard the same. I dismissed it as an illusion brought on by the euphoria of victory, but it seems to be more than that.
The myriad souls beckon us.
Then let's go to where they beckon. Elish, King of Sarkas, rests here for eternity, underneath a massive mountain of corpses. In the far future, not a single soul will know there was once a king who died here. He was so mediocre, so ordinary. The Sarkas do not remember the defeated. In this war that changed their fate, the people will only remember the names of 6 incomparably dazzling heroes.
Here we are.
I remember this place. It was here we gathered to swear our oaths and join the battle after Elish's chariot was destroyed. This is where we started. A clothesmaker and a guard.
Did you hear that, Theresis? The myriad souls speak from under our feet. Ah, there it is.
Yes. To think it was this small. The crown, with death as a witness, as well as the myriad souls. The twins raise the crown in unison. The crown chooses the twins in return. Atop the ruins, the myriad souls, whose existence remains uncertain, select 2 distinct hopes at a time. You should wear the crown, Theresa.
Why?
The King of Sarkas is but an optimistic fantasy for the pitiful when history chooses to stay silent.
Indeed. We will change the Sarkas's fate, with or without relying on an external force. But in this age of despair, it will bring a glimmer of hope to our people.
I'm not fit to be that hope bringer. My blade will cut our path forward, and you will lead the way.
I understand.
The war has just ended. How long will we bear this crown?
Until we find a home again. Until the black crown swallows us into its suffering. Until everyone under the same sky can fall into a peaceful slumber. Lead the way forward, you said. Do you still remember that adventure of ours? You held your sword and carried me.
And you guided me through the bushes until we got home. Theresa, allow me to crown you myself.
Alright. Theresis, I swear this vow to every Sarkas. We will always be equal.
Erasing memories. This is something Theresa actually lacks experience in. Not to mention, she now faces a rare kind of mind. She knows not what she will see, and has no clue if it will be dangerous, but there is no room to retreat. She has made the final decision of her life. She walks into the doctor's memories and cuts them up into countless fragments of dissipating threads. Memory fades away in silence. She walks through a world she has never seen and could never understand. How did such a glorious civilization meet its end? How do geniuses as bright as shooting stars struggle for a solution to their ultimate problem, yet find nothing? Is resistance futile? Is unity a mere fantasy? Is Terra's future already set in stone? What of her beloved homeland? What of her loved ones? She has no answer. She cannot find the answer. She can only continue meandering in the void of memories gone. Finally, she sees someone familiar.
Is all their enthusiasm overwhelming you?
What brings you here, kal'tsit?
Should I not be present at this celebration of your latest victory?
It's been a long time since I last... days like these were rare back then, you know? Or I should say, I've grown so unaccustomed to it now.
No matter, you will get used to it again in time. Babel will be a new beginning. Go. We should enjoy this celebration.
Theresa watches kal'tsit pat the doctor before gently pushing that very back into the waiting crowd. Too many are forcing their way through the throng, hands stretched out fighting each other to be the first to shake the doctor's hand or pat the doctor's shoulder. Someone taller and gutsier once even tried to put their hands right on the doctor's head for a good netting. Huh? Sorry about that unruly subordinate of mine, Doctor. I wanted to stop him. But, my arm's injured, so I couldn't make it in time.
It's fine. How's your arm?
Recovery is going pretty well.
It's a pity you won't get to enjoy many drinks here tonight.
That's alright, Doctor. I'll have a few more pins on this guy's behalf. We might have gotten ourselves stuck in that encirclement had you not sprung that surprise attack at the end. Come on, let's have a few glasses to honor the doctor!
I'm afraid my alcohol tolerance may disappoint you, Ace. Excuse me, make way, please. I have to see the protagonist of the day. So many people in here. This is the first time I feel that the command center is too small. Do you want me to widen it later? There's still so many people outside hurrying in here with snacks and drinks.
Doctor, everyone's cheering for the victory of Bralas, but you seem a little uneasy.
I thought I was masking it pretty well. I'm just a little nervous in crowds.
Hey, careful. That's enough pushing. Amiya, you good?
I'm okay. Doctor, come with me. Teresa and I made you a cake. Look, the oven was so hot I got a blister on my finger.
Thank you. Are you okay? Does anyone have any burn cream? A gentle cough sounds in the room, and the crowd splits into two. Teresa sees a woman dressed in white passing by, smiling as she extends a hand to the doctor with a still healing needle wound. She is looking at herself. The joy fades away, as do the memories and voices. Teresa erases the memory she is too familiar with, and continues forward. She sees a record she has never seen before within PRTS. Invoke imaging capabilities, enable administrator level encryption. Image number 0091_admin. Add subject, this is for you. Activating recorder, beginning video record. If I didn't hold on until you woke up, you'll see this video. I will remain here, in the safest of places until everything settles. Once I'm done with everything, I'll vanish into silence, disappearing before all those who hate me. There is always a voice inside me, reminding me, asking me, who am I? Our own watcher, or a traitor to future civilizations? I can no longer recognize myself. You'll get an answer after checking all the logs I left behind, but for now at least, I'll no longer hesitate to do what I should do. When you wake up, I will have already disappeared in your past, and also unable to appear in our promised future. That's why I hope... Pause recording. Delete our previous content. I still need a bit more time. She does not pause or sigh, just continues what she ought to do in silence. Teresa goes deeper into the buried memories. I need you to contact the closest rescue team. The Watcher transport has a Rimbiliton logo on it. This is your squad! I hear someone still alive in there. We got your call, but it'll take some time for us to rush over from the nearest mining plate. Based on the information you gave us, there's been banditry at your location there before, so we'll also notify armed security to send a dispatch at once. Armed security? But with the way Rimbiliton treats infected orphans... Huh. Just hold on. I'll get you out of there myself.
You Please, stay with me. That's a good girl. Give me your hand. Hold tight. But I'm so tired. What's your name? Name? Mom calls me Amia. Amia, just hold on tight. I am holding. I won't let go.
The memory shatters. This is Theresa's destination, the terminus of the Doctor's memory. Theresa.
This is impossible. Every memory should have been...
Theresa. She follows the voice to a void, and it speaks once more from behind the nothingness.
Where am I?
You're finally here. I've been waiting for you.
Doctor?
Doctor? Not many people call me that. They prefer my team code name, Oracle.
Oracle. So you're the one kal'tsit believes in?
I've let her down terribly. But we had no choice. I'm entangled in an inescapable plot. I've been watching you from here as you went around nurturing your hopes, as you suffered betrayal. As if I was looking at my past self.
I'm sorry. You are only residue of the Doctor's burned away emotions. There's no way for me to preserve your emotions and memories in our current circumstances.
You've reached your destination, so just do what you have to do. Thank you for trusting me.
It may be a little late for this, but I'm glad to meet you.
I'm glad to meet you too, Theresa. Oracle walks into the distance of the endless wheat fields, disappearing within the stalks. A draft of wind tears through the plain with a roar, and the final scene disperses until only the end of the thread is left. Theresa holds the strand. It quickly loses its luster and turns into powdery dust.
It's time to say goodbye. We'll meet again in the future, won't we? kal'tsit, Amia, Jacob.
Theresa lets go of the final strand of thread in her hand and watches it disperse and fade away like starlight. She takes a step forward, towards hope, towards death.
あなたがこの手紙を読んでいるということは、きっとすべて片付いた頃ね。私に説いてくれたたくさんの学説を覚えているかしら。私はずっと覚えているわ。この大地には限りがあって、それは一つの球体の表面をわずかに覆う土でしかないと。私たちの体は最初からこうだったわけではなくて、歩けるようになるまでは地を這っていたこともあると。あの星々は 私たちの足元に広がる大地と同じように空の軌道を進むイカダであると。ケルシー、そんなあなたの言葉を私はどれも覚えている。あなたは私たちの行いに意味を見出すよりも自身に関する答えが知りたいと言っていたわね。私がこの船にどんな思いを込めているのか、どうしてこの船をそんなに大切にしているのか、そんなことを何度も聞いてきたでしょ。とても幼稚な答えだったから結局最後まではっきりと伝えられなかったわ。ケルシー、あなたの孤独は私も感じていたわ。自分には同類がいないと考えていたからでしょ。ケルシー、私の答えはね、このロドスアイランドという船があなたの家になってほしいと願っていたからなの。あなたと一緒にそんな未来をこの目で見届けたいなんて考えたことだってあるわ。ただ孤独に効く薬はないし、流浪の旅に終わりもない。そして死の病は治せない。私は自分の精一杯をやったつもりよ。この結末に不満なんてないわ。バベルの使命はここまでだけど、あなたたちとこの船の旅はまだ始まったばかりよ。今あなたが初めに抱いた疑問を解き明かす時なんじゃないかしら。長い長い夜の後にはロドスアイランドにもきっと夜明けが訪れるわ。暖かな大地を航行する未来はあなたたちみんなのものなんだから。ケルシー、私はあなたの同類じゃないわ。あなたの疑問を解いてあげることもできない。だけど私はあなたの味方よ、ケルシー。これまでもこれからもずっと。
ドクターはずっと私のそばにいてくれますよね。
With this, you have reviewed everything about Babel that has survived until today. Rhode Island continues its arduous march forward, both to keep the torrents of history from washing it back to that bygone era, and to save even more lives. Now go on to this initial grand quest. This time, you are free. And that is our story. I hope you guys enjoyed. I did some tiny little editing trickery to do some extra bits in there. Hope you enjoyed those. Hope it surprised you all. Cause sometimes it's nice to break out of the norm, isn't it? But now we're gonna go into the post-story ramble section that I like to do after all of these stories, as always. However, before we do so, we have just a couple of small little details to go over. Considering I did a special thing with this episode, I think we need to go over the special enemies that appeared during these last two stages. So starting on stage number 9. We have them both here, so let's get them both done here. Theresa, King of Sarkas. A humble hero, a radiant dream. The future converges in her gaze, while the path fades beneath her steps. And same as in stage number 10, Amia. This is Amia? Question mark. Also, the weight difference is kind of funny, I will not lie. But yeah, these two battles were quite something. Well, this one is a pretty much staged up fight. And I will say, however, it is very funny. If you want to feel have a feeling of catharsis, just letting it go. Don't deploy the thing here. Don't put the box down here. Just play the stage. Don't deploy the box and let them through. And they live. Happy end. Yay! Anyway. One extra thing before we go over certain other elements. The titles and the tiny little story that is being told through the battle stages. What do I mean by that? Well, let's go in order. First, we're gonna go over the battle stage titles one by one until the very end. So starting from stage number 1, titled Great Aspirations, followed by Where Fate Guides, Silent Crack, Long Voyage, Fires of Uprising, Flickering Light, Rising Shadow, Final Countdown. The dust has settled. Goodbye, goodbye. And while these are a bit loose, when you go again through them, but only through the descriptions, it goes as follows. I knew this day would come. Sarkas has never been destroyed by war. We are strong. Today, though, we face the tragic reality of disunity and betrayal. There will be no reconciliation. I have never shied away from violence. Some Sarkas continue to seek a path of peace. The banner of war flies high in the distance. I see the Sarkas' desire for vengeance. If this is your choice, I'm sorry, child. This should have been my burden. Farewell, Doctor. All this should have belonged to you. So yeah, when you take all of the battle stages by themselves and just align these texts that are the flavor text of the stages, it is Theresa, essentially. It is Theresa on these ones. Now, we're gonna go over into the EX stages. And we're gonna do the same thing. First, the titles of every single one of the EX stages. They go as follow. Pack Up, Held Breath, Severed Horn, Wrapped Shroud, Through the Wilderness, Over Obstacles, On the Ship, Towards Death. So this one appears to be just like a very short recounting of the assassins, of these guys, the Death Whale assassins. However, the texts, the flavor texts on these stages are obviously by someone else, and they go as follow. You know that both of us have gone with the tide. Sarkas will render judgment with war. We are strong. From betrayal, vengeance. From destruction, rebirth. Violence is the only answer to hatred. Some Sarkas continue to reproach their king. The roar of war echoes in the distance. I hear the Sarkas' call for love. Goodbye, my enemy. Goodbye, my kin. So this one is by Theresis. It is pretty much chronicling his whole journey through this whole thing. And obviously we have different enemies here. Well, we have elite versions of enemies here, but also very funnily, the descriptions are pretty different. They start off kind of the same, but they are kind of more brutal. As in, on these stages, all of the enemies look pretty goofy, right? They all have pretty goofy designs, pretty goofy faces. I mean, this guy has a mustache and everything. They all look like they came out of a Sunday morning cartoon. They do retain the same thing here, but the descriptions are a bit more brutal. So let's begin here, with the Flying Boots Elite Mercenary. It says, mercenaries propelled by compressed air cans beneath their feet. Their favorite targets are Ursus convoys and their simple, durable Ursin products. The Greater Armored Burden Beast. Slow, docile, and even larger. These burden beasts obediently undergo rigorous training to perform tasks that go against their nature. On the next stage, we have the Bounty Hunter Grand Knight. Bounty hunters skilled in witchcraft, aspiring to join the Casimirian Knight competitions once they've saved enough money. For now, their greatest joy remains tormenting their targets as they hunt them down. The Enraged Spatula Giant. Mercenaries are adept at building makeshift weapons from whatever is available. This massive, sputtering machine shambles forward seeking to dice and slice with Lateran kitchen utensils. Then we have the Weaver. Mercenaries who expertly wield the latest equipment. Their mastery of the blades is so deep they can operate a loom with them. Then we have the Rogue Mercenary Lead Guitar. Metal band members who seamlessly blend their mercenary and performer careers. Their torrential rhythms are powerful enough to melt faces. Literally. And of course, on the final stage, we have two more. We have the Scrap Inventor. Inventors who have built a lot of new equipment, but have yet to finish design work on devices for flying and landing. And of course, I already read him, but just for the fun of it, Death Whale Assassin. Sarka's assassins who have abandoned their names and cut off their horns. Behind their pall is a burning fanaticism and a destined fate. Now, I obviously don't have access to the third set of stages and stuff like that. If there is gonna be anything in there, I don't believe so, but like I always say, if there's gonna be any kind of extra cutscene or something in there that is like that I consider would require another video to be made, I'll make that and I will put it in the playlist for this. But if there is nothing and it's just stages, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm just gonna take screenshots to keep for future purposes. But yeah, anyway, coming back to this, the difference here is quite big, right, between the descriptions of the enemies for the regular stages and here on the EX stages. It's pretty much the difference of Theresa's point of view and Therese's point of view. Pretty on the nose. One final thing to add is the medals. Now, here is where you're gonna hear some stuff that you kinda already heard through the episode, so let's begin. Babel Engraved Metal Set. An engraved metal set chronicling Babel's inception to its downfall. When history becomes stories, stories become legends, and legends are nearly forgotten by the masses. Do not forget. Yep, this is where I got a lot of that from. Anyway, we're gonna proceed from the second medal all the way to down, to the last one down, and then go back up to the last one. So, beginning with good luck. You reunited with an old subordinate. The two of you once spent a long time together, and he is prepared to walk with you toward the future once more. Combat Resource Liquidation Medal. You retook stock of your resources from the Babel era. Even in a time when resources are plentiful, not a single bar of pure gold or speck of grain is ever wasted. I'll come back to that in a moment. Rage and Sorrow. You witnessed the history of Babel, where a belief triumphed over another. She had faith in you, she believed in your aspirations, she trusted that your ideals would stand the test of time. The Reason and Desire Medal. You analyze the circumstances of Khaz'dal's civil war. The purest ideals clash with one another, leading to the gravest of tragedies. The Salvation and Destruction Medal. You wandered through the landship trying to recreate the scene you saw that day. Struggle and suffering are like a silent howl echoing between each and every command. Imprisonment and Freedom Medal. You inspected this enormous ship, and you and your companions once more. This time, you are free. The Babel Elite Guardian Medal. You found this medal among your past collection. The glory is frozen in the past, but the responsibility has never faded. The next one is the Babel Hero Medal. The highest medal awarded by Babel. Once bestowed to you. Time did not leave its mark on this shiny medal, nor has it diluted the expectations it represents. The final one here at the bottom, Name of the Evil Spirit. You view the records of the Babel commander who earned the title Evil Spirit. Accurate, decisive, machine-like efficiency. Cold, emotionless, and intimidating. And our final medal is the one you obviously get when you get all of them. Successor. You have reviewed everything about Babel that has survived until now. Rhodes Island continues its arduous march forward, both to keep the torrents of history from washing it back to that bygone era, and to save even more lives. So yeah, this is where I got the ideas for the certain bits in the episode that I used. Pretty much repurposed the text from the medals and the medal set itself. Now the one thing I said I'm gonna come back to is the shop here, mostly just because I find it kind of very funny that this shop is the prototype shop for, you know, the usual closure shop that we know from the beginning of the game. I mean, they literally have her icon here with a box and everything. Plus, the currency is in beta, just like the base is still to this day, until the land ship is gonna turn into an airship. But anyway, that's just my my 2 cents of that thing. But yeah, this pretty much covers everything outside of, like I said, on the 3rd stages that are not open yet. Will be very soon, 2 days actually after this recording is up and done. But yeah, this is this whole event, so let's talk about this thing. For those of you who are still around but will jump off this video now, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed. Consider leaving a like, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. The next thing on the channel is gonna be main story. Chapter 14 is around the corner, like literally, and I'm gonna be mentally sleeping for that week and a half until that is out. But thank you very much, and let's proceed into the ramble section. So, story. Where do we begin with this one? Do I go just with the characters as usual and just go from there? I think that's a good idea, right? Because oh god, this was something. Alright, so let's begin with the smaller characters and or characters that were not much in the story, but it was nice to see them. Beginning quite literally with Scout and Ace. It was amazing to see those two again, and even though they weren't too much in the story, it was nice just to see them hang out with everybody, interact with everybody, see how they grow to be pretty much buds with the Doctor. Just in general, seeing everybody hang out with everybody was nice. But yeah, Ace and Scout are sadly not around, so we only get to see them in these kinds of flashbacks or when people mention them. And I'm struggling to remember, when was the last time they actually appeared properly in a side story or something, because I have a dumb feeling that the last time they appeared anywhere was literally in the Vagilo, one of the Vagilo parts, which, by the way, that specific part I think connects to that one section where Ace is interrogating that one guy, or, well, serving him wine before his execution, essentially, if I remember correctly. But yeah, in general, was very nice to see them and have a bit more characterization. Like I think I said already in the previous part as well, was nice to see and hear that Ace picked up his, like, mannerisms from one of his fallen comrades and is instilling essentially that same kind of train of thought and conviction onto onto the next generations because of that member. So that was fun. Now, the one character out of their whole group that was kind of surprising to see, Mantra. I already had my shock moment of that, because that was like, what the hell. Mantra is probably the last character I was thinking of when I was thinking of this story specifically. Like, I already had expected to see Ace and Scout at some point when we catch up in the timeline. Mantra was not on my bingo card. Was not even thinking about her. But damn, she looks cool. And I kind of hope she's gonna be appearing more or gonna be shown more. Definitely cool design. And speaking of the other members as well, Piv also appearing for a tiny bit. One of those characters that in story gets explained like is super adept at arts and powerful, but when you play around with the character, not so much. It's kind of like, and if you're putting on a question mark on your head and be like, wait, Piv is playable? Yes, Piv is playable. If you play the IS modes, integrated strategies, you can get her as a random elite member recruit in there for free, essentially. And you can play around with her. She's a splash caster, and well, kind of middle of the line. Not gonna lie. Every single one of the other elite members that you can get in the IS modes kind of outshines Piv, which is kind of funny, I will not lie, especially how she was presented here in the story. But I did like how she was presented here in the story with the whole rigmarole of what should we call it? The teacher aspect of the thing, where in the middle of a very tense scenario, she just yelled at the at her students to compile her essays and deliver them onto her desk by the end of the week. That was funny, not gonna lie. Kind of had a chuckle of that moment. But yeah, it was nice to see all of those members once more. Now, one character that I wasn't really thinking about too much, considering they used her model at the beginning of the story, which is Julie. I didn't really think much about her going further into the story, because I kind of wrote her off as, at least at the beginning, that they have like just a new female Sarkaz model, right? That's literally what I wrote her off. But no, she was a completely unique model for a completely unique character. And she was a cool character. And, well, we all know what happened to that character. Good lord. But yeah, was a nice little surprise that they actually did that. And speaking of that kind of unique appearance, Scar Eye as well. Again, one quick flash forward at the beginning of the story had me pretty flabbergasted, because I didn't know for the first part at least, for that first cutscene, because I didn't know what is gonna be happening with this character. That was a very highly detailed, big beefy model for a character, especially for the fact that he is a Cyclops on top of it. So you know, had me a bit flabbergasted that they used him at the beginning and immediately killed the guy off. But then we get the whole, let's go back in time, and now we explore the whole character. As a character, can't really say much about him. Like, voicing him was fun, that I will admit. His death is very Scar from, like someone pointed out in the previous comment section in the previous video, very Scar from Lion King. I mean, he carries literally the same name and kind of dies in the same same way rather. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, one thing I will say about his character though, I do like the approach to his writing, that he as a Cyclops was kind of fed up with the whole prophecy thing and wanted to prove that fate can be altered by the individual. And quite honestly, he kind of proved it at the end. Not gonna lie, like he already proved it with forcing Ascalon into that storm and having her appear before Theresis. He literally forced the prophecy into being, essentially. But at the same time, he also prophesied that he's gonna die by the hands of Ascalon, and that didn't happen. but instead he was killed by his own men that he placed there. So it's kind of poetic that at the very end he did manage, in some way, shape or form, to alter fate to a pretty significant degree once again, but this time around that was on his deathbed. So that's about that. Minor appearances then as well for the Sanguinarch and for the Nachtzer King. Not much to say there. I mean, Dukarel is a dickhead as always. However, just like for him, but also for the Nachtzer, it was kinda nice to see that despite everything that they were doing and how they hold themselves and stuff like that, they still had massive respect for Theresa. And when she died at the end, the two of them were kinda grieving there, in their own kind of right, which was kinda neat to see, quite honestly, how much of an impact even on those two dickheads who are just war and conquest and power, how much she left of an impression on them as well. So that was kind of cool. It just builds up Theresa more as a character, but does show a bit more characteristics to them as well. La Kermalin was nice to see more characterization to her, but honestly, nothing much from my perspective of her changed, outside of the fact that we know now that, well, she's using her powers to pretty much put up an illusion of her age, of her current age. She's literally just, who the hell knows how she actually looks? She's literally just putting up a appearance of a beautiful woman just for her son, so her son doesn't see her age, which is very sweet. Which is very sweet, actually. That was probably the biggest surprise at that point, because you know, you think about her, she's a Sarka, she's probably a couple hundred, but never did it occur to me that she could be putting up illusions to keep herself like looking young, despite being much older. But good stuff. That was very good. And yeah, she is a mother to literally everybody. Everybody she meets, and if she likes them, she immediately turns on mother mode. That is pretty much it. I think I don't think she said it, if I remember now correctly, but I think she just pretty much saw Theresa as a daughter, as another child of hers. Like, the way she was addressing her was very, very sweet. But yeah, not much else to say there. We'll see if she's gonna make more appearances in the future. Super minor appearances, W and Ines. Well, I mean, it was nice to see. We know how the trio is doing due to Darknight's memoir in the meantime, because Darknight's memoir does intersect with this last section of this story quite a bit, so we get a bit more there. And yeah, what else to say? It was nice that they were in the story, at least. They cameoed for like literally 3, 4, 5 whole text lines. That was about it. Hodor didn't even make the cut. He was injured. He was injured and treated in a medic bay. That's about all he gets. Alright. Then we get to our babus. To every single one of the people that we know as grown-ups appearing as children. And I'll include Oda in there, even though he's a new character. But I was kind of wondering how Oda actually would work into the story, considering he's welfare and everything, and they usually appear somewhere in the story. And God, his story, he and his dad. I would like to echo. I don't think I said it before, but I would like to echo a meme that I saw for Oda that was posted at some point somewhere. It's pretty much the Office meme of the lady and the puppy, basically saying, I had Oda only for a single day, but if anything would happen to him, I would kill everybody down in the comment section and then myself. Sorry, had to do it that way. But yeah, damn, what a fate for that young man. Oh God. Also, him and that whole scene with him and Manfred, shouting Oda's father's name into the crowd as they are leaving, super depressed for a fight against the Lethanians that are pursuing them, and they're the only two that are shouting good luck, which is meant to be the father's name and not, you know, wishing good luck to the people, but at the same time they might be doing it anyway. Boy, that was a scene. Funnily enough, I was kinda expecting other people to chime in during that whole moment, but it didn't happen. Sad. That would have been a powerful, quite a powerful moment, but might have also ruined the atmosphere, so I don't know. But yeah, Oda's story was definitely sad, and damn, his dad is kind of like the... I would like to point out that his dad is kind of like the best representative of how these Sarkas are. Because once they're on the path of revenge and grudge and war, they don't know anything else. At least not well, the vast majority will keep on staying on that path and will not go down from it. They will just keep marching on. And Oda's dad is literally the best representative in this whole story to just showcase to everybody. This is just how they are. This is what they are. You can't deny it. Some can see over the shadow and just go another way, but not everybody. The vast majority of them are bitter and they want revenge. And yeah, his dad is pretty much the prime example of that. And damn, had to be Ascalon, right? Had to be Ascalon who offed the dad. Damn, that was very sad. Honestly, in this whole story, that was probably the one moment, because I didn't expect that part of the story. That was the one moment that caught me off guard and really tugged so hard on my heart. The whole scene with Oda receiving the remnants from Manfred. Whoa, that had me. The build up to that moment was good. But yeah, moving on. Logos, Babu Logos, that was hilarious. I will not lie, seeing him in that dress, because of course he lives amongst the Banshees and the vast majority of them are female, so they don't really have male clothing, so he looked absolutely adorable. I kinda get why he's doing always that I'm done with everything expression now. He just accepted his fate. But yeah, anyway, he looked adorable. He did cool things during the story. Not many, but very nice little gestures for people in general. However, the one that surprised me the most, or rather the two people that I didn't expect to see as actual children, were actually Ascalon and Manfred. Like, I expected them to be in this story, but I didn't think that they were that young. Both of them, actually. Like, I put Manfred down as someone way older, actually. Like, maybe half Therese's age or something like that. But, he's very young. He's very young, and for those of you who have seen it, that one of the parts where he appears for the first time, that was a legit reaction to him appearing and me losing my shit upon immediately realizing who he is. But coming back to Manfred, very quickly, definitely shaping up to be a more interesting character the more he gets developed over the stories. Like, initial impressions of him weren't anything special, but the more his character gets explored, the more they showcase that he's not just your, you know, typical Sarka's war villain, but there is depth to the character and compassion and stuff like that. I like that. I like that they are doing that with him, and I do wonder how he's gonna progress into the future. And his counterpart, Ascalon, had a couple of moments during the story. I mean, young Ascalon doing doing the most goofy shit and just vying for the attention of the two regions is is adorable. She was a kid. She was basically growing up with no one teaching her anything until she was like in her teens, and just behaving like a child and trying to get the attention of the two of them. It was very cute. But yeah, she has a rival. I do wonder if that's gonna be leading to something, because they did leave each other with next time we are settling this, so we'll see what happens there. That hasn't happened yet, so we wait patiently. And I think that's about it for the like supporting cast. Well, supporting cast, I say some of them were kind of like more major characters, but yeah. Going now a tiny bit above them. So kal'tsit obviously was a interesting thing here, seeing the more happier kal'tsit, right? Seeing the more smilier kal'tsit, right? That was weird. Also, learning a couple of extra things about her, well, about her creator and shit, and putting stuff into perspective is also very fun. Daughter, huh? Technically, if that all pans out. So Doc having a hand in the creation of Amma and that whole project. Yeah, that is a thing. I wonder how the people who have for years yelled ex-wife, because you know the meme, are they now swapping over to ex-daughter or some shit? What is the meme now? What is the meme now? Now that it's technically daughter. But yeah, there were a couple of moments that it was very, very cute to see her being very genuinely concerned about the dog, and taking into perspective how the atmosphere is literally frigid for a vast majority of the story until she starts to slowly warm up to the new dog is kind of crazy perspective. Amiya, on the other hand, very adorable. What else is to say there? Absolutely adorable, absolute daughter. Don't let anything happen to the donkey ears, to the bunny ears. I was actually surprised that they skipped at the beginning, when they introduced Amiya here in the story, that they skipped the whole part of the dog rescuing Amiya. That they never showed that, but they showed it literally at the last second of the story. Like, what the hell? You guys waited for a long time to show that, didn't you? But, yeah, very interesting. Very, very interesting. And, we'll see where that leads. She's definitely a mixture of a lot of things at this point. The Chimera thing also is kind of explained now, with Theresa infusing the crown into her through that stab. If you guys paid attention, if I noticed correctly, her like the tips of the color of her hair kind of changed a tiny bit as well. Like the bangs that are hanging in front had a very slightly different color on their tips, like the typical coloring that we know from her hair kind of showed up. So I wonder. Also, she does have a serum inside of her that is made from the doctor's blood, essentially, and as recently as in Chapter 8, she also got another dose of that. I wonder how that is actually influencing her. I wonder if that is gonna lead to something in the future, now that we know that Doc is, well, because of their race, immune against Originium, so I guess we'll see? I guess we'll see. And finally, before we go into the lore bits, our big two, the two big siblings. Well, one is big and tall, the other one is adorable and tiny. But yeah, I'll say first about Therese's. I can see that this story will probably, and probably already did, split people's opinions about him. Like, I, for example, can completely understand him, why he did what he did. I think I saw on one of the earlier episodes as well that So someone was venting their frustration towards Theresis and his methods. But I I am pissed at him. Don't get me wrong. I am pissed at what he was doing and stuff like that. But at the same time, I can see what he was doing. Again, like I brought up with Oda's father, Good Luck. Pretty much the same thing. These Sarkas are in a perpetually trapped cycle of hatred. And of course it's there because everybody discriminates against them, everybody hates them, everybody's trying to kill them, but at the same time the Sarkas are never letting go of that anger, and it just keeps boiling up over time. Pretty much the messaging from Theresis from the get-go. I mean, from the get-go, he was for Theresa's attempt to find a new solution for the Sarkas, to find peace, to get it done, to find a cure against the Ripathy, all of that. He was in like 1,000,000% support mode during the entire way through. Like, even from the inception of the military commission, he was commanding them to be essentially bodyguards for Babel and Babel's mission. Well, not for Babel's mission, but just to keep stuff in check so other people won't interfere with Babel, so Theresa can proceed. But he already predicted from the very beginning that, as we saw, that Theresa will lose, which made sense. Which makes sense essentially, because Theresa's plan, while valid and it's a good one, it's just something that will take too much time to achieve. And he knows that the Sarkas are not going to sit around for hundreds of years after a war has finished, especially for a race that lives for, 100 plus years, 200 plus years in some cases, and more. They will want to go back to war to achieve something, to get resources, to get territory. So he had to keep them in check. Pretty much Theresis' whole thing is, well, I need to do it, I have no option. If I don't command them and I tell them, let's go and conquer something, they will split up, the military commission will disband, Theresa's plans will go to shit, and at the end of the day, the courts will essentially, so Dukarel and Nezalem will essentially, the two biggest warmongers among all of them, will essentially just potentially pick up their forces and go like, well, let's go over there and conquer. Let's go do mayhem. Let's make people hate us even more. Why not? We don't give a shit. But yeah, his whole spiel, essentially, his whole agenda is literally, I will tell them, we will go to war, we will conquer this nation, and they will unite under me, and they will keep together. It's literally, the whole spiel of him is literally the same as Theresa, but in another approach of, if I tell them to do this, it will keep them together, and they will not split up, it will give them a united goal. The whole thing as well of having agents in place to watch over Babel from the shadows, while through the Scar market trickling in bounties essentially to... It was pretty much an execution. It was pretty much... Those bounties were pretty much a setup execution of go after Babel if you feel so stressed over them, but you will die. It was pretty much an easy way to get rid of people who don't wanna hold hands and play, right? But yeah, his approach was war, but his approach was war just to keep the Sarkas occupied and around. I mean, his first appearance in this story was literally, you are a warrior that was loyal to my sister, and you swore an oath to kill me if something happens. I am here, do it. Kill me. I will not interfere, no one will interfere, just kill me. He literally on moment one had a death wish of the story, in the story. That was literally the beginning of the story. His sister is dead, he has now a death wish. He doesn't want to live anymore. But no one wants to straight up kill him. So he is stuck in his position. And he will keep marching with the Sarkas until something happens. I wonder how his story is gonna keep going. Will keep going now, considering now everything. But I guess we'll see. Again, big dickhead, but understandable, dickhead. Someone has to be. Someone had to be that big asshole in that whole spiel. Theresa. Man. Man. What to say there? Why? Why? I know why. I'm just asking. It's a stupid question. But yeah, had to be. It had to happen. It had to happen. But yeah, respect to her for a lot of means, especially the one thing that was probably one of the top 3 biggest surprises of this whole story. The fact that she actually, together with kal'tsit, managed to analyze Originium to the point, through probably the Black Crown as well, the knowledge inside of it, to a point where they actually reversed Originium from taking in information and storing it inside of it to actually releasing it and creating life from it. It's nuts. That is actually nuts. I don't even know what to say about that. That is a leap in research. And potentially is with Amiya now, even though, like Theresa said, it's kind of like hidden away, probably. She probably doesn't have access to that knowledge, whatever it is, wherever it is. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, very sad fate. I do wonder now, because of certain aspects of what we saw in the story. Number one, her putting a portion of her consciousness into the crown to talk to kal'tsit there at the end. That is a crazy aspect. Number one, from what we know from certain aspects of the crown is literally, as described in Amiya's module, is literally a recorder. The thing is literally this is how history is playing out. I am literally just noting it down for all of you so you can review it in the future. That is its primary function. It is record history and instill that knowledge. That is what it does. So, can you delete information out of it? Because if she imprinted a portion of herself into the crown, I don't really think she's gonna disappear, that portion of her that is there, that copy-paste information, that imprint. She did say that she's gonna dissipate, but will she? Will the crown let her dissipate? Isn't the crown supposed to hold information indefinitely? That's a question, because that brings me to another one, because there is the quotes resurrected version of Theresa in the main story, but as we know, that one isn't fully the genuine article, at least when it comes to the soul, I guess. But interesting what's gonna become of that one. I mean, we do know we're getting a playable Theresa as a welfare character in chapter 14 very soon. But considering what happened there at the end, I have now 2 major ideas of how that works out. And this is pure speculation. If that doesn't turn out the way I say it, fine. I don't give a shit. I'm just literally spitballing ideas. I have no idea how it's gonna work, because I keep myself spoiler free, of course. But I have 2 ideas. One idea is that there's gonna be a conflict, a battle against that Theresa, and that Theresa in Londinium, that is. And Amiya is gonna be present. The Theresa in the crown is probably still there. And Amiya will have a moment of realization that she is there. And maybe will act as a function of the crown and just, you know, shove the rest of Theresa that's in the crown into that copy that they created, that amalgamation of Theresa, and make a more whole version. And because it's the Civilite Eterna crown version of Theresa that takes control, that's why she chooses that name for herself. It's either that, or I have a wild idea. I don't know how that could be explained, but I was thinking because one of the powers that seems to be coming from the crown is actually conjuring up objects, as pardon, as the swords, for example. And Amiya's power seems to be pretty strong developed, just in general, and the rings are literally withholding all of that power. What if in the next chapter another ring shatters, or she just takes off another ring, and that unleashes enough power that she is able to, just very similar to the sword from Shen that she made a copy of at one point, the black version of her sword. What if she just recreates like a simulacrum version of Theresa on the field? That would be wild. That would be another explanation as to how the fuck that would work. But I guess we'll see. There's probably more solutions to how that whole rigmarole might work. But we are getting a playable version of Theresa, and it's called Civilite Eterna, so go wild. Go wild. We'll see in a week and a half how that works. I'm really looking forward to that explanation. And yeah, finally... Well, not finally. Priestess. I have nothing else to say. They really keep just loosely trickling information in. It's really hard to form a mind around her, outside of the fact that she just feels a bit insane, possessive potentially. But I don't know what to think about her. But every time, the more I'm learning about her, the more I'm just like, nah, you can stay away. And if you're dead, good. Good. Don't come back, please. But yeah, I don't know. The more she keeps appearing, the more I keep learning about her, the more I'm in a position of, I don't want to have her around. I just don't want to have her around. She just seems like the devil. She just seems like the absolute freaking devil. She can just disappear for all I care. Maybe she did. Celebration? But yeah, don't really know what to say much about her outside of that she feels more and more insane the more I learn about her. And I don't like that. Doc. Whoa. What a freaking crap ton of reveals there. From the fact that Oracle is a codename for the Doc in their squad, as stated right at the very end. Then obviously the Doc is responsible for Originium, but as we've also learned, it should have been doing something else, like taking in the data and preserving it, and not, initiating life on the planet, like evolving the species. The whole spiel as well that pretty much all the animal people essentially were animals, like I think most of us were thinking that anyway, but were animals originally, evolved by Originium, but I don't think anybody had it on a bingo card that all of those animals came from Talos 2. I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card. I definitely never thought about that. I thought that when we go to Talos, we're gonna learn more about just the universe at large and see similarities and stuff like that. I never thought about the fact that over 10,000 years ago, the species that the Doctor is from literally brought animals from Talos to Terra, and they evolved because of pardon, because of the Originium, which pretty much suggests as well that Originium does harbor some pardon, the cough wasn't going away. But yeah, pretty much suggests that Originium does carry some kind of genetic information that is based on the kin that the Doctor is of, essentially, which is very interesting. There's definitely more behind that. However, seeing the dog just break down mentally during the story was crazy. That was crazy. And again, it was something that I expected pretty much since the awakening scene. Since the awakening scene and the dog pretty much being distraught about learning immediately that they're the last one and no one else is there when it comes to their species and everything. Well, potentially. We don't know fully yet. Who the hell knows? There might be a plot twist and someone is still out there. But right now, that's the belief. That the dog is essentially, race-wise, completely alone. But, yeah, it was in the cards. It was pretty much in the cards that the dog is just gonna mentally slowly break down through the story. I mean, from the moment they started introducing the white and black screens, that was even more cemented that that is where it leads to. Saw it coming since the middle of the story, or even prior to the middle of the story. And one thing finally, however, Oracle. That is an interesting aspect. So, Oracle is the dog, but at no given point during this story did we see the dog kinda act in the same way that Oracle does. Oracle seems to be a completely separate personality of the dog, which I think, just as it was said as well, I think Oracle is the one that says it as well at the end, if I remember now right. Sorry, it's been a while since I recorded the last cutscene. Was doing other things in the meantime. But if I remember right, the Oracle is the one who says that they're involved in some complicated plots that don't let them go at this point. Which is a very interesting thing to say in an overall aspect. Like, what do they mean? What was happening in the past? Like, we've seen completely two different aspects. Like, if Doc is the one who sets off Originium, then it seems the story is suggesting that Oracle is the one who might have done something to Originium to alter its evolution, essentially, and spread and what it does. I feel like, because Oracle is the one who keeps saying stuff about cherishing life and finding oneself and all of that, and love and peace. Oracle is the one, not Doc. Doc is kind-hearted and cherishes people. Like, Doc's connection with Amiya is super strong, but it's not the Doc who has been saying it. So I have a little theory. I think there's definitely gonna be, I'm not just thinking, there's definitely gonna be another twist surrounding Oracle at some point. But the Oracle is Doc and Doc is Oracle. That is a fact. Now, the big question is, because in the last final moments of deleting the Doc's memories, Theresa finds Oracle in a spot inside of the memories of the Doc, somewhere neatly tucked away and hidden, just waiting and was observing. So it's a interesting thing to think about. Why and how did they separate themselves? What was the case? And there was a couple of sentences of mentioning, like, this version of the version of Doc that we follow through the story was mentioning something about using Civilat Eterna to achieve certain goals and stuff like that. I have a hunch, and especially the way Oracle was also phrasing certain things in a couple of moments, the brief few moments that they were there. I have a feeling that Oracle might have been like a double agent or a sleeper agent or something. And I'm saying that because I believe that Oracle was undermining the work of Priestess. I feel like. Because if Priestess feels like she doesn't really care about life in general outside of herself, the Doc, and who knows if anybody else. But what if Oracle is the one who cherishes life. That cherishing life stayed with the actual dog, but maybe someone, maybe Priestess, used Civilite Eterna on them and repressed them somewhere, or she believed that she got rid of them and just kept the super smart doctor for herself. What if it's that kind of plot twist? A mind-bending manipulation kind of plot twist of Oracle was the original dog before that aspect of them got literally assassinated, or there was an attempt on an assassination through Civilite Eterna's use by Priestess. Now that would be a plot twist. Now that would be a plot twist. But yeah, I don't know. It's food for thought. There was definitely more to it there, and yeah, I guess we'll see. But I think I rambled enough. This has been a long ramble section, considering this has been a heavy story. And my god, it's been a heavy story. Also, excuse me, or rather apologies, there will be no clips at the end of this thing, because literally every cutscene that I was recording for this one, put it like this, going back through the footage, I was really quiet. I was really quiet. Like, most of the time it was just like taking a breath, just stopping to take a sip and let things sink in. And I think the only exclamation mark that I had was during the one moment where, or sorry, two moments where, number one, Theresa stabs Amiya, which came out of nowhere, but I immediately understood, like, oh shit, yeah, wait, she's giving her Civilite Eterna, even though it's kind of weird, but essentially Amiya becoming Chimera, yada yada. The other one was the realization of Amiya being, for a brief moment, controlled by a memory of Theresa through Civilite Eterna was wild as fuck. That was probably the creepiest thing through this whole story. Amiya with those eyes and just speaking like Theresa is... Oh, one bonus thing I would like to mention, however. I was already told to do that. I can't include it in this video, sadly. I did this when I was done recording the cutscenes, at least. For those of you interested, go and rewatch now that you're done with this. Go and rewatch the preview concept trailer 3 that was released a couple of years back. Go and watch it now. Really go and watch it now. It's the one that has like pieces of Theresa's message for kal'tsit, essentially. But go and watch it now. Holy shit, you will unpack stuff. They had some wild stuff already in there. There was a lot of it was in here. A lot of it was in here. There's even a bit at the end of the trailer where Theresa's voice, and I remember talking about that in the past somewhere, where Theresa's voice transitions into Amiya's voice, and it is literally because of what happens here, because of Theresa controlling Amiya for a brief moment. It is wild. It is absolutely wild, and especially how many images from here, from the Babel story, are in PV3. It's nuts. Go and watch that thing. Do it now. The moment this video ends, go and do it. You will not regret it. It's insane. But anyway, I will now go and finish editing this video and post it to you guys. It has been a bit of an extra work, as you've seen at the beginning, at the end of the video, and stuff like that. That took a bit to figure out how to do, because I've never done that before. So hopefully that was to everybody's liking. And yeah, once again, thank you guys very much. The next thing on the channel is gonna be the main story when it comes to Arknight stuff, at least. The big Arknight stuff, at least. Main story is out in like less than 2 weeks, I believe, from now on. And chapter 14, at least on the Chinese client, from what I have seen and been told, word count wise, is the biggest story. The biggest story so far, so it's gonna be quite a lot of stuff to cover, I believe. And I'm looking forward to it. It is definitely one of the chapters that I'm looking forward to the most now, especially now after Babel and everything. But we'll see how also Babel works into chapter 14. But yeah, thank you very much for watching and listening, and sorry for the wrong... Oh, God, this is an hour now. Sorry for the long ramble here at the end. I do like to talk about this when we are done with a story, especially this one. And yeah, leave me comments. Tell me how you enjoyed the story. Moments, favorite moments, least favorite moments. Who's the biggest dickhead? Stuff like that. But yeah, I will read them, I will respond to them if I can, and we'll have ourselves a nice little conversation down there. But in the meantime, thank you very much. Please consider leaving a like on the video, it will help me out a lot. Recommend it to other people if you can. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and yeah, if you want to support me and my work even more directly, there are memberships, multiple of them. No video will be behind a membership, it's pretty much just there to support me and the channel. And that is about it. Hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are. I will now go and rest for a week and a half and just play Metaphor on my streaming days and chill. And really chill. It's been a lot of work. This series has been a lot of work. Oh God, I need a break. Anyway, thank you guys. And until next time, bye bye.